What's up everybody? Thrustmaster is gonna release the H.E.A.R.T controller pretty soon here in a couple weeks. It's gonna come out on November 12th. Of course, I don't have the controller yet, but let's see what else we can pick up about this controller to see if it's worth buying or not before I do a full review on it. So here's the controller, but before we get into the controller itself, let's take a look at the prices in comparison to their other controllers. So this thing is $99 and this is the eSwap S. This one is $129, so this one's a little more expensive. And then we have the eSwap X2. This one is $170. So this guy's the most affordable controller you can get from them. Well, what are the differences? For one, you notice that the eSwap name is not on this controller. That's because you cannot swap out the modules. As you can see here, this configuration is going to be what it is. On the S, you can swap out the joysticks, you can add D-pads on here, or you can add extra face buttons here if you play fighting games. And then on the X2 Pro, you can even swap out the D-pad as well. Now what this new controller has that the other ones don't are Hall effects. If you don't know what it is, Hall effect technology essentially are magnetic. So stick drift's not going to be a thing anymore with this, which is awesome, right? However, this kind of bugs me, okay? They named the whole controller H.E.A.R.T, right? For Hall effect accurate technology. This kind of rubs me the wrong way, to be honest with you. Hall effects has been out for a long time already. And they are marketing this as if it's their own technology. It's as if they just came up with this revolutionary technology. But to be fair, even Microsoft and Sony aren't using the technology yet. So to a casual gamer, they probably don't know about this. But to you and I, we have known about this for years, right? When I first hear about the name and what it stands for, it makes me chuckle a little bit, to be honest with you. But I'm glad that it's here. In terms of the face buttons, it's got mechanical buttons with the activation distance of 0.3 millimeters. Now if you look at the S, the activation distance is the same. So they're using the same buttons. This is nothing new. And on the X2, it's the same thing. If you look at the handles, you see that it's flared out quite a bit like an Xbox controller versus in the past. You see how the handles here just kind of come straight down. It's slightly angled outwards, but not by much compared to the way this is angled out. I do like this change here. Now let's look at the back. There's two extra buttons here you can program. It's the same on the S, but on the S, the button is skinnier. You see on the H.E.A.R.T here is bigger. There's a little bit of a ridge here that you can hold on to and it's wider. This will probably make it easier to press. However, if you're gonna do it this way, go all the way. Put a button here. This is the best location for it, not right in the middle. And on the X2, you got 4 extra buttons and they're even smaller. This is just bad. Out of the 3, I probably prefer this the most. On the S, you see there are trigger stops. Same thing here for the X2. What happened? There are no trigger stops on this controller. And again, you have to think about the price, right? It's under $100. Aside from the Hall effect sticks, you're actually getting less features than the other eSwap controllers. Essentially, you have to think of this controller as their budget controller. However, to be honest with you, I don't really use trigger stops when I play fighting games. A lot of controllers, the trigger stops just make the triggers so fast that it throws my timing off with the D-pad. To be honest with you, I don't really mind not having trigger stops here. I'm not sure how big this controller is, but just looking at the pictures here, it looks like the trigger is flushed with the shoulder buttons. It's the same design on the S, same thing here on the X2, and I really don't like this, to be honest with you. I wish they had moved this down a little bit, maybe to around here, so that way your finger can reach it a little bit better if you don't have large hands or long fingers. On the X2, it's really uncomfortable for me to press the triggers because it's just so far and so hard to reach. My index finger is just stretched out all the time and it's not in a relaxed curved position, right? Take a look at Microsoft's controller here. You see how there's a steep slant from the shoulder button to the trigger, right? You can clearly see it here, right? The shoulder button is higher than the trigger button. This position just makes it a lot more comfortable to use. I do like the look of it though. You know, the two-tone black and white color. Looks like there's an RGB strip here. I think it looks cool. Taking a look at the D-pad, it looks like it's the same design as the other two controllers. On the S here, just that shape, and also on the X2. The D-pad on the X2 is a lot better than on the S. This is unusable for me. So hopefully this guy is more like the X2 and not on the S. If the D-pad is bad on this controller, then you're out of luck because you cannot switch it out for another D-pad. So hopefully it's a good one. So stay tuned for the full review on that. Let me know in the comments if you're excited for this controller. It's very affordable. Still kind of expensive though for a budget and basic controller, but it's got some good things going for it. Alright, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Give a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and take care now.